This is game 3 of the Thanksgiving tournament against Fox Valley. The winner of this game will make a semifinal. The loser will go in the consolation bracket, or consolation game. Looks like Thomas Feeney will be in net. Defense to start the game will be Brown and Miller. Front line will be Veland, Wernick, and Kaiser at the dot. Veland. Puck goes to Miller's side. Kaiser comes away with it. Kaiser over to Wernick. Werner back to Kaiser. Offside. Evanston.
No, I just checked the time.
Same 5 stay on the ice for the face-off. Kaiser back to Brown, over to Miller. Miller off the boards in the direction of Veland. Kaiser keeps it in to Veland. Veland with the shot. Save covered up by Fox Valley. Same 5. Kaiser back to Brown. Taken away by Fox Valley. Miller. Saved by Feeney. Evanston changes up. It'll be Donnell and Friese on D. Front line will be Nicholson at center, Alvarez, and Lee. Donnell with pressure behind the net. Friese comes over. Friese with pressure in the corner. Nicholson comes up to back him up. Nicholson deflects the pass. Goes over to Alvarez. Now Donnell along the boards. Shot by Fox Valley wide. Nicholson in the corner, self-pass. Comes out with it. Nicholson leads the break. Centers towards Alvarez. Donnell on D. Donnell knocks the puck away into the corner. Stays with it. Titus Lee now. Titus Lee over to Nicholson. Nicholson into the zone. Oh! Drop pass to Bostwick. Nicholson still has the puck along the boards. Top line. Neal keeps the puck in. Outlet pass to the red line by Fox Valley. Brown back on D. Neal comes back, tips it to Brown. Brown skates it out. Brown shot wide. Neal keeps it in. Bostwick throws it in deep. Chases on the 4, check. Kaiser cuts it off along the boards. Brings it in. Wernick now on the side. Kaiser. Wernick back to Brown. Brown shoots it. Tipped away with the stick by Fox Valley. Outlet pass. Brown back on D. Kaiser to the boards. Kaiser off the board and into the neutral zone. Wernick now. Wernick back to Neal. Neal outlets to Brown. Wernick dumps it in deep. Nicholson behind the net. Alvarez comes over to help. Alvarez back to Friese. Friese keeps it in. down the ice for an icing. Okay, Nicholson, Lee, and Alvarez up front. Frizy and Miller on D. Nicholson back to Frizy. Frizy shot goes up. Skate of Fox Valley. Nicholson now in the corner with Alvarez. Frizy comes up. Puts it back into the corner. Frizy to Nicholson. Nicholson. Got a goal by Nicholson. Nicholson from Frizy, 10:03 in the first. Miller and Frizy at D. Alvarez and Lee flank Nicholson. Alvarez on the forecheck. Nicholson comes in the backup. Feeney covers up. Donald comes away with the puck. Donald and Neal are now on D, sorry. Neal now in the corner. Neal gets it up to Lee. Tipped away by Fox Valley. Lee comes away with it. Lee exits the zone. Alvarez on the right. Lee again. Lee out to Neal at the point. Shot. Saved by Fox Valley. Warnick and Veland come out at the wings. Kaiser at center. Donald and Neal are at D. Kaiser. Neal keeps it in. Neal gets it in deep into the corner. Veland goes to pursue. Donald comes up to the pinch. Kaiser back. Kaiser knocks it away into the boards. Warnick throws it off the glass and into the neutral zone. Veland now on forecheck. Warnick with pressure on the puck. Kaiser comes over, helps, steals the puck. Kaiser along the boards into the corner. Kaiser covers it up with Warnick helping. Warnick comes away with the center. Puck comes down Donald's side. Donald with the block on the shot. Miller goes over in the corner. Jesus. Penalty on Miller for a check in the back. See if it's only a 2. Two-minute penalty on Miller. Brown and Donald come out on D. Alvarez and Nicholson up front. Nicholson at the dot. Alvarez with the puck. Wraps it around. Nicholson now. Nicholson in the offensive zone. Nicholson shot, saved by Fox Valley. 1:44 left in the penalty kill. Find your way, ready?
No.
Staying 4, stay on the ice. Nicholson pressure in the corner. Donald back on D. Donald forces him wide. Brown with pressure in the corner. Brown comes over, pressure. Puck goes center. Nicholson. Nicholson goes around D. Stops at the blue. Tries to get it deep, blocked. Puck comes down Donald's side. Nicholson back on the back check. Donald forces the puck to the corner. Wrapped around by Fox Valley towards Alvarez. Alvarez gets his stick on the puck. Goes high to Feeney's glove. .53 seconds left in the penalty kill. Be Kaiser and Lee up front. Donald and Brown stay at D. Brown with pressure in the corner, backed up by Kaiser. Kaiser comes away with it. Kaiser to Brown. Brown comes away with it. Brown at the blue. Brown shot. Off the blocker and into the glove. 31 seconds left in the PK. Same four stay on the ice. Ice face off. Shot goes high. Donald back on D. Donald knocks down. Kaiser puts it around the back of the net to Donald. Donald backhands it to the blue line. Two-minute penalty on Fox Valley. Evanston has 13 seconds left in their penalty to Miller. Looks like it'll be a 2 and 10 on Fox Valley. Lee and Kaiser up front, Frizy and Neal on D. Kaiser back to Neal. Neal's shot gets deflected by Lee. Kaiser comes away with it behind the net. Kaiser changes direction. Kaiser out to Neal. Neal. Nicholson to Frizy. Frizy cross ice to Kaiser. Nicholson. Shot. Blocker save. Neal comes up. Gets the puck deep in the corner. Neal keeps it. Nicholson cross ice to Frizy. Shot, saved by Fox Valley. 1:22 left in the 2-minute section of the part of the 2 and 10. Nicholson, Alvarez, Bostwick up front. Neal and Frizy at D. Frizy, shot. Comes on Neal's side. Puck cleared. Feeney slows it down for Frizy. Nicholson. Frizy backhander to Bostwick. That's nice pass. Puck was played with a high stick by Fox Valley. 46 seconds left in the power play. It'll be Wernick, Kaiser, and Nicholson up front. Brown and Miller at D. Kaiser at the dot. Puck comes back to Brown at the point. Brown shot, blocked by the defense. Miller can't keep it in. Puck gets by, Brown back on D. Shot wide. Kaiser gets a stick in there. Nicholson to Miller. Miller back to Brown. Brown up ice to Kaiser. Tips it to Nicholson. Nicholson skates with it. Miller. Shots blocked. Miller shot wide. Warnick on the opposite side on the boards. Back to Brown. Brown to Kaiser. Kaiser shot. Kick wide. Miller to Beelan. Beelan enters the zone. Beelan now with pressure on the puck handler. Warnick tries to cut it off. Puck gets by. Icing's waved off. Donald goes back to retrieve. Donald flips it up the boards. Centering attempt by Fox Valley, intercepted by Kaiser. Kaiser along the boards. Gets it up to Warnick. Warnick on the break. Nicholson, Beelan, Donald comes away with it. Puck goes back to Frizy. Frizy leaves it for Warnick. Over to Donald. Donald changes direction. Crosses the red up to Alvarez. Puck goes in deep. Fox Valley controls in the corner. Sends it along the boards. Kept in by Frizy. Frizy to Lee. Titus Lee. Blocker save. Puck goes on the back of the net briefly. Fox Valley comes out with it. Nicholson intercepts the clearing attempt. Neal keeps it in the zone. Titus Lee with D. Brown comes over. Centering attempt goes wide. Nicholson now. Delayed offside. Still offside. Fox Valley checks up. Neal outlets to Lee. Lee passes it up to Alvarez, who chips it into the zone. Puck comes over to Brown's side. Alvarez. Nicholson. Neal up to Nicholson. Nicholson up to Alvarez. Icing waved off. Ostwick. Miller comes up. Kicks it forward. Kaiser now with pressure on the puck. Warnick comes over with pressure. Brown skates it in. Stays on side. Kaiser gets the puck in deep into the corner, wraps around behind the net to Warnick. Bostic comes over. Warnick. Puck comes out on Brown's side. Brown with the D. Brown takes the body, knocks him off the puck. Miller comes over. Warnick. Warnick out to Kaiser, then Bostwick. Brown up to Warnick. Warnick to Kaiser. Kaiser chips into the zone. Puck just stays out of his reach. Brown. Puck comes down Miller's side. Miller deflects it wide. Brown with pressure in the corner. Kaiser attempts to pass. Delayed offside. Fox Valley checks up. Kaiser now. Miller comes over. Miller up to Lee. Lee towards Warnick. Lee now. Lee. Frizy keeps it. Puck goes down. Nicholson goes to retrieve. Nicholson behind the net. Changes direction. Shoots it down. End of the first period. Evanston up 1-0. Evanston 1 goal on 7 shots. Fox Valley, no goals on 3 shots. Okay, start of the second period. Feeney's still in net. Frizy and Miller on D. Nicholson center. Alvarez and Lee on D. On wing. Nicholson back to Frizy. Miller off the boards to Nicholson. Miller up to Alvarez. Nicholson on Lee. Lee into the corner. Alvarez comes to help. Oh, Alvarez. Center attempt to Nicholson. Okay, Evanston with a 2-minute penalty. And see what it'll be Neal and Donald at D, Wernick and Kaiser up front. Neal gets up the boards and out of the zone. Wernick on the forecheck. Kaiser. Kaiser, shot, rebound to Wernick. Wernick, out towards Kaiser, chipped by him. Neal on D. Donald now back. Feeney to save. Wernick, pressure on the puck. Kaiser along the board. Kaiser over to Wernick. Oh, Wernick's back in. No! Kept out by the defenseman. That was just laying there. .103 left in the penalty kill. Need Donald and Brown, Alvarez and Lee up front. Alvarez wraps up the dot. Puck comes out on Donald's side. Donald back. Donnie gets away with the stick. Puck comes to Alvarez, who clears it out. 45 seconds left in the PK. Brown comes away with it, dumps it in deep. Titus Lee with forecheck. Puck comes down towards Brown. Lee, back check. Alvarez gets it out of the zone. Offside. 21 seconds left in the PK. Warnick and Kaiser come out up front. Donald and Brown stay on D. Kaiser back to Donald. Donald shoots at the length of the ice. Kaiser, delayed offside. Warnick, he's down at Brown's side. Donald comes over. Kaiser, both teams at full strength. Warnick goes down. Veland out front. Veland now. Changes direction in the corner. Leaves the puck for Kaiser. Kaiser passes to Veland. Warnick in the side. Warnick to Veland. Brown comes up, tips it towards net. Covered up by Fox Valley. D will be Friese and Miller. Up front, Veland, Warnick, and Kaiser. Veland comes out with it, shot. Blocker side save. Friese comes up, pinches. Kaiser back to help on the back check. Friese reverses direction. Down to Friese's corner. Friese comes up along the board. Miller knocks it away. Friese along the board. Miller. Veland centers it to Kaiser. Shot high. Kaiser now. Miller goes to the corner. Warnick tries to get it out. Friese shoots it down deep. Icing. Donald and Neal come out on D. Bostwick, Alvarez will flank Nicholson. Nicholson, shot blocked by Neal. Puck comes out to blue line. Bostwick with pressure. Puck is wrapped around in the corner. Bostwick now. Shot blocked by Nicholson. Nicholson out with it. Neal with pressure. Offside. Fox Valley goes. Tags up. Donald center ice. Donald. Shots blocked. Second shot. Tip by Alvarez. Saved by Fox Valley. Same five stay on the ice. Nicholson ties it up so Alvarez can come over and get possession. Bostwick in the corner. Puck comes out. Bostwick gets the puck in deep. Alvarez goes to the corner. Backed up by Nicholson. Nicholson keeps in the zone. Nicholson centers it towards Bostwick. Alvarez shoots. Puck covered up. Nicholson, Bostwick, Alvarez stay up front. Neal and Donnell on D. Caleb passes it to Alvarez, to Donnell. Eli Neal. Neal shot tipped by Alvarez. Donnell. Donnell changes direction. Donnell. Neal. Nicholson. Icing called, 7:56 left in the second. Just icing.
Is the audio off right now?
No, his audio's on.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like going out.
It's borderline. Like, our kid gets hit in the head and they're like, that was great.
Phelan over to Wernick. Puck kept in by Fox Valley. Brown tips it forward. Puck goes into the corner. Kaiser. Miller goes back. Brown comes away with it. Brown center towards Wernick. Dumped in deep by Fox Valley. Miller goes to the corner. Fox Valley centers. Wernick gets it out of the zone. Brown. Puck comes down Miller's side. Miller knocks him off. Kaiser with the puck. Wernick. Kaiser. Kaiser knocks the puck away. Miller, Veland. Miller. Saved by Feeney. Frizey and Donnell will be on D. Nicholson, Bostwick, and Lee up front. Frizey in the corner. Nicholson keeps it high. Puck goes to the boards. Donnell on D. Puck wide. Bostwick with pressure. Nicholson knocks it down. Nicholson comes away with it. Over the blue. Nicholson. Nicholson shot. Blocker side save into the protected netting behind the net. Same five stay on the ice. Puck comes out on Donnell's side. Donnell forces him wide. Jump behind the net where Frizey is. Donnell. Shot wide. Frizey. Frizey takes it behind the net, up along the boards. Shot. Bostwick clears the puck. Icing's waved off as it was touched by Fox Valley. Bostwick with the forecheck. Neal. Bostwick on the pressure. Puck comes out to Donald. Donald back. Donald over to Neal. Neal along the boards. Neal up to Bostwick. Pressure by Kaiser. Puck comes to Donald. Donald chips it to the corner. Veland comes down. Veland ties him up. Kaiser comes over. Kaiser deflects. Puck at the dot. Veland gets it forward to Kaiser. Kaiser to the boards. Veland keeps it in. Puck comes down. Neal side. Donald stays with it, deflects the shot wide. Donald backhands it along the boards. Kaiser. Kaiser with space. Cross ice for Wernick. Offside. Fox Valley. 4 minutes exactly left. Good job. Okay, up front it'll be Nicholson, Alvarez, and Lee. D will be Brown and Miller. Nicholson tips it forward. Goes and chases. Lee backs him up. Miller behind. Lee. Puck squirts across the ice to Brown. Brown up to Alvarez. Alvarez. Brown. Brown ships up to Alvarez again. Back to Brown. Brown enters his zone. Puck comes out. Miller goes back. Miller up towards Lee. Too far. Miller ships it to Lee again. Miller. Nicholson back. Nicholson with pressure. Miller. Nicholson. Nicholson. Alvarez. Alvarez backhands to Brown. Brown in the center to Veland. Veland shot. Veland chases into the corner. Up to Alvarez. Alvarez behind, changes direction, centers to Veland. Puck came off. The net came off the moorings. Be Frizey and Donald at D. Kaiser, Wernick, and Veland up front. Fox Valley comes out. Frizey side. Goes wide. Back to the point. Frizey up to Veland. Veland along the board to Kaiser. Kaiser self-pass. Puts the puck in. Wernick comes over. Kaiser. Shot. Off the goalie mask. Donald comes down in the corner. Donald behind the net. Donald centering pass. Veland keeps in. Kaiser with pressure. Frizey now. Frizey wraps around. Saved by Phoenix.
to have 6?
It'll be Donald and Frizy on D. Kaiser, Warnick, and Veland up front. Donald backhands it around to Frizy. Frizy up to Veland. Donald, Kaiser. Kaiser along the boards. Donald goes into help. Kaiser. Kaiser up to Veland. Goes back in. Delayed offside. Frizy. Frizy up to Veland. Frizy gets the puck in deep. Veland. Kaiser. Frizy keeps it in. Wraps it around behind the net to Veland. Kaiser goes down to help. Kaiser comes away with it. Kaiser keeps possession. Kaiser, Wernick comes back in to help. Puck wrapped up. Wernick tries to pass it back to Frizy. Goes beyond for Donald. Donald surveys, dumps it. Frizy with pressure. Kaiser. Gloved by Beanie. 6 seconds left. D will be Brown and Neal. Up front will be Alvarez, Nicholson, and Bostwick. Nicholson and John. Nicholson gets it back to the corner. Brown ties it up. Nicholson runs out. Evanston 1 goal on 10 shots. Sox Valley 0 goals on 8 shots. Start of the third period. Same line of Bostwick, Nicholson, and Alvarez up front. Brown and Neal at D. Nicholson over to Bostwick. Bostwick shoots it deep. Icing. Same 5. Nicholson ties it up, comes away with it. Nicholson, snapped away by Fox Valley. Brown keeps it in, keeps it up. Puck cleared by Fox Valley, icing. Sane 5 stay on the ice. Alvarez back to Brown. Shots knocked down by Fox Valley. Nicholson chases. Bostwick now back check on Neal's side. Neal knocks it away. Alvarez clears to the corner. Neal comes over with pressure. Now Brown comes out with it. Brown up to Alvarez. Alvarez with pressure on the forecheck. Enters his own. Neal intercepts. Nicholson tries. Brown. Neal clears. Frizy knocks the puck away to the boards. It's wrapped around. Wernick goes back to Frizy in the corner. Frizy backed up by Alvarez or Kaiser. Save. Goal by Fox Valley at 12:19 of the third. Kaiser, Wernick, Beelan up front, Donnell and Brown on D. Beelan. Icing. Pressure, Brown pinches. Kaiser comes down to help, keeps it in. Wernick, Brown back in. Wernick shot. Front line changes to Nicholson, Alvarez, and Lee. Brown and Donnell stay at D. Nicholson with pressure on the puck carrier. Takes it away. Nicholson. Shot save. Covered up. Nicholson, Lee, and Alvarez up front. Frizy and Miller at D. Goes up. Miller back on D. Loses control. Nicholson. Lee. Frizy keeps it in the zone. Miller knocks it away. Frizy. Up to Alvarez, who tips it to Lee. Puck in deep. Frizy. Up to Alvarez. Nicholson comes away with it. Nicholson into the zone. Donald. Bostwick. Bostwick backhands it deep. Outside. Icing. B. Donald and Brown on D. Bostwick and Wernick. Wings for Kaiser. Wernick. Puck wrapped around by Fox Valley. Donald goes in the corner. Kaiser comes out with it. Kaiser. Kaiser centering pass. Wernick. Wernick forwards it. Kaiser, goal! Wernick to Kaiser for the goal at 9:37. Same five will stay on the ice. Brown, Donald, Kaiser, Bostwick, and Wernick. Kaiser back to Brown. Brown stick handles. Puck goes back to Donald. Donald wrapped up. Brown comes out. Brown up to Wernick. Wernick forward to towards Kaiser. Puck tipped away. Wernick over to Brown. Brown. Bostwick with back pressure. Donald. Kaiser. Kaiser comes away with it. Enters the zone. Puck cleared to Donald. Donald cross ice to Beelan. Beelan chips it in deeper. Puck comes down to Donald again. Donald slows it down. Donald back to Brown. Saved by Feeney. Wernick. Wernick out to Nicholson. Nicholson. Puts it forward to Brown. Shot block. Nicholson. Nicholson to lead. Wernick. Miller. Brown gets it in deep. Shot block. Puck up inside. Brown. Brown centers it. Fox Valley. Cross ice pass. Miller on D. Saved by Feeney. Nicholson. Brown. Miller. Lee. Titus Lee over the blue line. Lee in the corner. Kaiser with Neal backing him up. Neal takes the puck, wraps it around Alvarez. Alvarez up to Frizy. Frizy. Frizy kicks it to him, stick. Frizy off the glass, out of the zone. Alvarez chases. Veland. Veland enters outside. Gets the puck in deep. Chases. Kaiser now. Frizy stops at the blue line. Shot. Wernick with the rebound. Covered up by playing half the time.
Not getting in. It's almost empty as shot.
Okay, Frizy and Neal stay out on D. Wernick, Kaiser, and Veland up front. Kaiser keeps it, goes to the corner. Loses possession. Wernick wraps it in deep. The opposite corner. Veland chases. Neal goes back to retrieve. Feeney covers. Donnell and Brown come out on D. Forward line stays the same. Puck squirts over to Veland. Veland. Kaiser backs up. Kaiser blocks the pass. Brown over to Wernick. Wernick up towards Veland. Icing. It's a good thought. Now front line stays up. Front line switches up. It'll be Lee and Alvarez flanking Nicholson. Brown and Donnell stay out on D. Alvarez gets it out of the zone. Chases to put pressure. Nicholson backs up, comes away with it. Nicholson goes center. Lee now. Puck comes out towards Donnell. And pass. Donnell clears it. Feeney covers. Same five stay out there. Nicholson, Alvarez, Lee, Brown, and Donnell. Nicholson. Lee gets it out of the zone. Lee over to Alvarez. Puck comes down Donnell's side. Brown is back as well. Now over to Brown's side. Shot wide. Nicholson goes over to the corner. Puck chip back to Donnell. Donnell behind the net. Lee into the corner for Brown. Brown backhands it. Nicholson comes out as Alvarez to his right. Bostwick comes back. Nicholson shot, goal! Goal at 4 minutes by Taylor Nicholson. Okay, D will be Frizy and Miller. Up front, Kaiser, Wernick, and Bostwick. Frizzy. Miller. Miller attempts a self-pass. Ostwick. Miller gets it deep. Puck wrapped around. Icing. Same 5 stay on the ice for the face-off. Kaiser back to Wernick. Frizzy ships it forward to Wernick. Kaiser. Kaiser in the zone. Miller. Miller shot blocked. Frizzy back on D. Frizzy clears it. Donnell and Brown come in on D. Bostwick, Wernick, and Kaiser stay out up front. Timeout by Fox Valley. Face off to the left of Feeney. It'll be Bostwick, Kaiser, and Wernick up front. Donnell and Brown at D. Fox Valley has pulled their goalie, so it's 5-on-6. Empty net. Kaiser. Same 5 out for Evanston. Brown goes back. Same 5 out for Evanston. Brown now. Up close to the point. Brown. Goal by Fox Valley at 2:27 left. Brown and Donnell at D. Nicholson, Alvarez, and Lee up front. Puck goes back on Brown's side. Brown fights in the corner, backed up by Alvarez. Alvarez takes it, clears. Back to the front. Goalie Lee with pressure. Donald comes up. Dumped in deep by Fox Valley. Brown goes back. Brown comes away with it. Donald. Nicholson blocks the centering of pass. Brown off the boards. Tyson waves off. Nicholson steps up. Nicholson. Shot blocked. Donald now. Donald on D. Nicholson blocks Feeney. Brown goes behind. Nicholson now in the corner. Back to the point. Shot, glove by Feeney. Evanston now calls a timeout. Okay, face off to the right of Feeney. Kaiser will be at the dot with Wernick and Nicholson, and then Brown and Donald at D. Kaiser wins it back. Puck comes out of the zone. Kaiser. Puck goes deep to Brown. Brown back to Donald. Tries to get it out. Can't quite. Blocked by Nicholson. Nicholson. Kaiser. Kaiser shoots it in deep. Puck comes down Wernick's side. Donald. Okay, same 5 stay out for Evanston. Kaiser still at the dot. Kaiser wins it back to the corner. Nicholson tips it forward to himself. Brown. Shot blocked. Nicholson now. Nicholson tips it forward. Game ends. Evanston wins 3-2. Evanston 3 goals on 23 shots. Fox Valley 2 goals on 18 shots.